So taking a fit now.
I know.
I can't make
Can't do it.
I'll pretend to pass out. Eamon misses nominations this week. Due to John must nominate for Eamon. Oh dear.
What time is it now? 11. Oh no, it's not.
Why have you have to blow your nose? They've got to let you go to the toilet, haven't they?
Yeah.
This is Big Brother. You are reminded that your nominations must be your own choice and must not be influenced by any of the other housemates.
Change the record.
Under Big Brother rules, you must give full, frank and valid reasons for each of your nominations.
Who's Frank?
We're not allowed to give other people's reasons.
You will be called to the diary room in alphabetical order. Please come promptly when you are called.
May joy be unconfined.
Housemates are reminded that John cannot nominate or be nominated this week.
Sorry.
I have to blow my nose.
The 2 or more people who receive most nominations will face the public vote for eviction at the end of the week.
Good. This is no more than that. Could have been worse then, couldn't it?
At the end of the week.
Can I go and blow my nose quickly?
No, hang
Go
on,
on, go blow
when
your
that-
nose.
when
What
that-
are they gonna
when
do?
camera goes.
I have to.
He normally says on Friday, doesn't he?
No.
Does he not?
The end of the week, he always says.
Yeah,
Does
which is Friday, which is the
Oh,
beginning.
he just said at the end of the week then, didn't he?
No, it always says at the end of the week.
Does he?
Did you ever pay attention, Cal? You already had that message.
Each week you've been
8
listening
times.
to that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Would Cameron come to the diary room?
Arcala.
Oh,
We
Cameron.
remember about this.
Last time, hopefully.
Arcala, Bagheera, Baloo, Kite, no, Chill, no, he's not Chill. He was, Happy. Happy.
The name of the first nominee is Noosh, and the reason is based on one incident on the eviction night when Lisa was going out. People were listening at the door or whatever, and Noosh was standing listening, saying, "Oh, I don't like hearing boos. Oh, that's horrible." And I know that I reacted at the time by saying, "Get away from the door then, if you don't like listening."
Can you explain further why this behaviour annoyed you?
What's the point of subjecting yourself to something that you don't enjoy and going on about it? I would rather personally either subject myself to it and shut up, or get myself away from the source of pain or the source of annoyance or whatever, and thereby stop mentioning it. My second person today is Ray. He's been throwing questions at John, sort of, I wouldn't say genuinely to trick John, but questions about the outside world or whatever, what happens when you leave here. And today I sensed John getting annoyed, and I don't think it was fair of Ray to keep on asking questions.
Can you explain further how that behaviour has had an impact on you?
If people keep doing a certain thing that you don't like, obviously every subsequent time it happens, you start thinking, "Shoosh, man."
Karen, do you have any other reason for nominating this housemate?
No, and it's a far more difficult reason for nominating Ray this week than perhaps in other weeks. So no, I have nothing. I don't know what I haven't. I do not know what else to say. I've been full and frank, and whether it's valid or not, Anyway, no comment. I think I've been full, frank and valid.
Something's going on in there.
This is a bit long, isn't it?
Something's got been going on.
What do you mean? What's going on? What?
Cameron broken down or something, all gone crazy, started booting in the camera. Something.
He's had a fit in there, it's gone mental. Perhaps you just can't do it. Finding the words, innit? Yeah, if they keep saying to him that is not valid, that isn't
Just,
valid.
yeah, they could just keep on
What do they
saying.
want you to say? You know what I mean? Like, that's
But
what
they
they're
want us to
asking
go
for.
in there and say, I hate Federico because he does this.
Yeah.
I want him out of the house. I can't stand him anymore. Oh, my
Wait!
Lord.
You've broke the records, haven't you?
I know everything's confidential. I'm not giving anything away. It's very difficult in there this week.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Well, you know what it's like.
Yeah. We thought you'd fainted or something.
No.
Well, it's got serious that you broke down and started booting the camera in.
Started kicking the camera.
Close.
When it's all over, I'll tell you. No, but you can.
Right, it's always going to be hard this week.
Would Nush come to the diary
At
room?
the end of the day,
Not an announcement as to who it was. Normally they say, this is Big Brother, don't
Sometimes they're pleasant, sometimes they're not. No one next. Steph and I probably got another hour to wait yet.
they? So what's the time now?
No.
Oof. Let me see.
I can't see what the showing off it.
I'm going to go to the toilet anyway. So
42. There's no way I was in there for half anyway.
Yeah, no,
On
you were in there for
cab.
about 25 days.
He was getting on for that. It was...
Well, I don't
no,
feel
we don't saying
guilty.
it's your fault, like.
No, I can't.
But yeah, it's,
I'm no.
it's good you just sat here waiting, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than being in there.
Playing that waiting game,
At
innit?
least you were actually doing something. We were just sat here going.
My first nomination is going to be Steph. Because I just feel that sometimes there are things about us both that get in the way of our friendship. And I think that Steph might find it hard with being quite a girly girl and enjoying being with the girls, and that I don't seem to mind being with girls or guys. And sometimes when I think we're getting on better, I can feel she just might say something that I just find hard to, just kind of catches me off guard sometimes.
Can you provide examples of things that this housemate has said that have caught you off guard?
She said she didn't mean it exactly like this, but that I use my sexuality to get what I want, and I actually find that a little bit not very nice thing to say to somebody. And I actually think that I know she said to me she didn't mean it that way, but I don't know how you could take that in a positive way, and I actually was a bit offended. My second nomination is going to be Cameron. I think Cameron worries too much about letting go. It'd be nice sometimes to see him get a bit tipsy and join in things, or when we put bets on things, he's doesn't really like to risk too much. I don't understand what he's worried about. She says making an arse of herself whenever she's drunk. But do you know what I mean? You only live once, and it's kind of a shame to... It's a shame to feel that somebody's holding back and stuff, and be naughty sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's not all about... Well, maybe it is all about being well behaved. It's a record time, isn't it?
Oh,
It's still quite long.
Was it?
Yeah.
Flew by.
Oh, chewing take that.
Go on, Ray, hurry up.
God, sweating.
I'm normally always quick.
Done now.
Would Ray come to the diary room?
No, I don't want to go.
Please,
I don't want to go.
Please.
Be quick.
I'll try.
I think I had a little sleep while you were in there.
Pardon?
I think I had a little sleep while you were in there.
Really? I felt like I was really quick.
Yeah, first nomination is going to be Nush. I think on Friday when John came along, it was all great seeing John again, like an old ex-housemate and all that stuff. We were all sitting around on the couch, and it was just typical Nush after a few kind of babies, whatever. Like, it was just people trying to have a conversation with John about what's been going on in the house while he wasn't here, and in the middle of some stories, Nush would more enough all the time jump in and interrupt the story and try to give a different story, something that had to do with her, and it just kind of got a bit annoying towards the end, and it was again constant for most of the night. My second nomination is going to be Cameron. I've no major reason to pick Cameron. The only reason I'm picking Cameron is because, again, like last week, I think that if any of the housemates left, I think he's definitely had that little bit more extra with the whole Big Brother experience, with going to South Africa.
Ray, is there any other reason for your second nomination?
The only other reason I can think of then is I think that he has chosen myself and Nush for a nomination this week. He's very close to Stephanie. To Steph, I don't think he's going to nominate Steph at all today. And I don't think he's going to nominate Scott because Scott reminds me of his brother. So I think out of the two people left, he's nominated myself and Nush.
Yeah, we ran out of apple juice on the way over there. And
Done.
Was it fast?
You were quite going too
Was
bad.
it?
it's terrible, isn't
Let's
it?
just put it this way, you weren't as long as Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling guilty.
No, we don't expect you to.
There's probably a psychologist there, like.
There's probably
nitpicking.
hundreds of them there, look, watching.
This will be their favourite word of
Saying
the
that
week.
ain't enough.
Yes, it's bad.
Going for the kill.
Yeah.
Oh, please let that be the last nominations ever. I hope.
Would Scott come to the dining room?
Please.
Kick ass.
My first nomination is Steph, because within the group she seems to be, I think, one of the parents, if you can sort of loosely look at it like that, and I think it would be good for the group to lose one of its parents this week, so we can see what fun ensues in the final week in the house. I'd say Steph she's not the most troublesome in the house, but she's the most stubborn, perhaps, and for pointless reasons. Like, for instance, the only thing I can really think of is when we were betting the other week, it's about 100% or not, and Steph wouldn't budge from what she said just because she said it. She could see the good reason and sort of said, yeah, I can see what you're saying about 100%, but the fact is I've said 80%, so for that reason I'm not moving from it, which is like stubborn. There's nothing wrong with being stubborn if there's a good reason for it, but was a poor reason, I thought. Also, I would say that Steph can be the most cutting person in the house. I think very often not deliberately, but just sometimes she just says comments that are a bit not thought out, a bit mean sometimes. Not particularly to me, but I've just noticed it within the house. And then my second nomination is Cameron. I think Cameron is still holding back a lot. There was things that happened last week in the house that weren't particularly good with reference to a departed housemate. And I think everybody was guilty, but I think one person was more guilty than others and wouldn't let up. And that was disappointing to see for someone who all the way through had seen as really nice guy, wouldn't say a bad word against anybody. I noticed quite a lot of bad words said against one person. And also on Friday when Lisa had gone and everybody was a bit, it's awful to see Lisa go and we feel mean about that. Cameron sort of turned around and said, and it was incredulous that he couldn't believe that people were saying that after what had been said the week before, and was like, well, we didn't say that. You know what I mean, Cameron? No one had your strong opinions on that, and so he sort of turned on a couple of members of the group for not still being scathing, which I thought was completely unnecessary.
Look at your short marks. It's amazing how much sun you've actually caught.
I know. It's true.
Oh, well.
Well done.
Not bad, sir, not bad.
Looks like a sprint. Straight to the river.
Not good. You just... you can't even say, can you?
Elaborate.
Not really.
Steph, go in there and give hell.
Bring
on the wrath.
Will Steph come to the dining room?
Go on, Steph, the last one ever. Steph.
John! Well, honestly, how rude can you be?
It's a disembodied, emotionless voice.
Well, first nomination is Scott. I still cannot properly make him out. I think he says things that he thinks you want to hear.
Could you please elaborate further?
As far as like nominations, doing the nominations go, he always says, and he's continued to say it, that your initial emotion, on the eviction night, for instance, your initial emotion is always like sadness for that person going, and then relief that it isn't you. But I think that I don't believe him.
Steph, the nominations that you provide will ultimately lead to one of your fellow housemates being evicted from the house at the end of their 8th week.
Yes.
Do you have any other reasons for making this nomination?
No. Yes. No, I don't know if I am. Oh, you. I'll give it a similar example. Yesterday, I was in the garden, and Nush and Scott were having a conversation, which I believed was in regard to choosing people to go into the reward room with them or whatever, right? But I was watering the garden, and as trivial as this might sound, as I would come over watering the garden, Scott started to talk as if what's felt was for my benefit, and I thought, there's no need for you to talk like that, Scott, just say how it is. And he was like, I really don't, I don't know who to choose. I wouldn't know who to choose. And obviously earlier that day we've been discussing if it's a girly reward room, then obviously they were saying, we'll pick a girl, there's only 2 girls. And I felt at that point that he was just saying it for my benefit, and I thought there's no need to, you pick who you want to pick to go into the reward room. But afterwards, Nush told me that he was telling her that he would pick her. So I thought, that was obvious anyway, but there was no need to say. That's another example of Scott saying something that he thinks you would like to hear. Is that good enough? My second nomination would be Nush. When John arrived on Friday evening, we were all talking about what had been going on in the weeks that John was away, and obviously updating him on everything. And then we came to the point where Cameron was discussing his trip to South Africa, and Nush, I can't remember exactly what was said, but said some what I consider to be rather rude things, like obviously we've heard it all before, but it felt clear to me that she didn't like the fact obviously Cameron had this interesting story to say and she wasn't the centre of attention.
Finally, can you please confirm the names of the 2 people that you've chosen to nominate?
I have chosen Scott and Nush.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Who goes? You decide. To evict Cameron, call 090 11 214442. To evict Nush, call 090 11 214407. Or text VOTE with the name of the housemate you want to evict to 85444.